Hello, everyone. Welcome back to BSG Plus 2025. And we got here another lovely interview. Hi, I'm Xoneris. And joining me is the one and only Sunnymuffin. How's it going, buddy? Having
great.
a good day?
Yeah. It's been good. The Netherlands has treated me well. It's been great.
First time Netherlands?
Yeah. Other than being at the airport, which doesn't count.
Yeah, okay, I get that now. So, you have two runs in this marathon, both today?
No, the other one's tomorrow morning.
Oh, the other one's tomorrow. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought it's also today. Never mind. Professional interviewer once again. I know exactly what I'm talking about. The run coming up next in an hour-ish or so will be you doing Path of Exile 2. For the uneducated people at home, what the hell is Path of Exile 2? And why is it not Path of Exile 1?
Oh, Path of Exile 2 is the newest ARPG from Grinding Gear Games, where you kill monsters, collect loot, and make your character stronger.
Yeah, classic ARPG. So it's like Diablo.
Yeah, it is very Diablo-inspired. It's... So PoE, Grinding Gear Games, has been running it for like a decade now at this point. This is the much anticipated sequel to that game that I have like probably 3,000 hours in. So
I have like 2,000 hours or something. So speedrunning PoE 2, obviously, like speedrunning an ARPG is very different than just casually playing it, because if you're casually playing an ARPG, you just, you take your time, you just chill, kill some monsters, get some loot, you're just chilling, you're vibing. But obviously in a speedrun, you go fast, you don't have time, how's like the mindset shift? Like what's like different from playing it casually than speedrunning it?
Well, speedrunning it is really a lot about just like playing the hand you were dealt. I'll be playing on Witch today, and Witch is like one of the caster classes. So we're really dependent on finding a good weapon that gives you like a bunch of spell power to do more damage. And there's like really two ways you save time. So you do more damage to kill the bosses faster. That obviously saves time. The other way you save time is by learning what's called the layouts. So all the zones that we run through, they're procedurally generated, but they do have a pattern that you're looking for. So by being able to correctly read where to go next, you get a lot of efficiency, because you're not just running around these zones blindly. You're trying to actually figure out where the objectives are, how to get from one side of the zone to the other, and if you do that really efficiently, you save a whole bunch of time.
So it's a bit comparable to like a JRPG games where the speed just comes from knowing things and not like mechanically being fast with like dexterity. It's more like, oh yeah, I know here, so I have to go that and that. Yeah, this item. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest time save. There is like a mechanical component to it as well. So like a lot of the really top players, when they're playing, they can read an item that drops incredibly fast and make those snap decisions. A lot of like the menuing, the game pauses on certain menus, but during other menus, like in your inventory menu, you can still be like killing monsters and managing your inventory at the same time. So that's where a lot of like the mechanical complexity comes in. For the run that I'm doing, we're only going to be doing Act 1. So there's not really like your DPS rotation and doing damage at that point in the run isn't as important. But when you do like the longer runs, if you do like the whole campaign, that also plays into effect.
Yeah, for all the people at home who've never played Diablo or PoE, like what does Act 1 mean? Like they might not be familiar with this kind of lingo. What does Act 1 mean?
Yeah, so PoE 2 is broken down into 3 acts currently. They have planned for 6. It's still in early access, so they just haven't released the entire game yet. It's called the campaign. So where you start, you're level 1, you wash up on the shore, and you work your way through the story. And the story is kind of chunked out into these different chapters. I think would be the best analogy for it.
That's basically the first chapter of the campaign.
Yeah.
That's what you're speedrunning in, like TLDR.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's not the whole game, just a small chunk.
Then have you also do you have experience in speedrunning in the other chapters, or so far just chapter 1? Like,
yeah, I've done a couple of whole campaign speedruns. They're a little bit too long to like sit down and like
How,
complete a bunch of them.
long is long?
A good run is probably about 3.5, 4 hours to get through the 3 acts.
That's only the first 3 acts?
Yeah.
Not the...
No, then,
Okay.
So then, since it's in early access, they just like loop it back around, and you have the 3 acts again, but they're harder.
Yeah. So the first 3 acts already take 3 hours.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. And did you submit like the full game, or did you just decide to only submit the first act because that's like the thing that you like the most, or?
Yeah, I definitely like speedrunning just Act 1 the most. It like really once you it's the act that really has like the most impact on your campaign time, because when you're slow and you don't have like movement speed boots and you don't have all of your abilities, like the little optimizations kind of have like a ripple effect on your campaign time. So if you get really good at speedrunning Act 1, you're really well set up to move on into Act 2 and Act 3. Which, like, I know you as a Path of Exile player know, like, campaign speed matters when you're doing league starts.
Yeah.
So learning that was my goal, because I'm like playing Path of Exile 1. Like, I really like league starts. I like playing the economy when there's a new league, and now Path of Exile 2. I just wanted to have that experience. So.
Interesting. So you're just basically saying the first act, yeah, like you said, has the most impact, and depending how good your Act 1 is, it will like influence indirectly the speed of Act 2 and 3 just by how good Act 1 will be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay, I can get that. I can get that. So then, speedrunning PoE 1, why do you do that? Why not?
To a lesser extent, PoE 1 is much more mechanically demanding than PoE 2. You just have a lot more stuff going on. The game is much faster paced.
Right, yeah.
So I have done a couple of speedruns of PoE 1, but it is much more difficult. It's a lot of fun, but you have that like trade-off. I think
Right.
I enjoy speedrunning PoE 2 more.
Because it's more about the knowledge and less about the mechanical skill?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay. I can get behind that, yeah. I had a fantastic question, but it's slipping my mind. But surely, maybe I'll remember it. So, Path of Exile 1 speedrunning. I feel like Path of Exile 1 is also... it has been out for, more than 10 years now, so people figured it out optimized the crap out of it, while PoE 2 is still fresh. It came out December last year, so it's still very fresh, I'm assuming. I don't speedrun, so I'm not sure how involved you are in the speedrunning community of like PoE, but I'm assuming there's still like discoveries being made and things being tested, and like still things are being tried out.
Yeah, so the biggest like knowledge gap between PoE 1 and PoE 2 is learning the layouts. So when the maps get procedurally generated and you figure out the best way to go from objective to objective, that still hasn't been completely solved. There is a Discord, the Campaign Codex Discord, that literally has a channel for every single zone that we run through.
Oh,
and
wow.
They just dump pictures in and trying to find and figure out like how are these being generated. Like you kind of reverse engineer it. But,
cool.
I'm not like too involved with that. I just ride their coattails and steal their work.
Yeah, you just there to read, not to contribute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's totally fair. Some people just want to pick up a game and don't want to like contribute much. They just want to speedrun a game and learn how to do it, right? That's fair enough. But yeah, as I mentioned at the start, you also have a second game which comes tomorrow, not today, as I falsely claimed, which is Evergate. Completely different than PoE. What's the elevator pitch? Evergate. What do you do?
Evergate.
What is it about?
Evergate is a little 2D puzzle platformer, and it is like absolutely probably one of the best indie games I've ever played.
Wow.
It is fantastic. It's pretty cheap and it's short. It doesn't like really overstay its welcome, but like if you like puzzle games and has like a good platforming element to it, I would absolutely recommend Evergate. Like there's really cool speed tech. There's just a lot of skill expression within that, and it's like a short speed run. So like, I think my estimate for it is like 40 minutes. So you don't really have to commit too much time to it, and I don't know. I just absolutely love that game. It's like fantastic.
If I remember correctly, it's also called Kind of Cute.
Yeah, it is kind of cute.
Kind of cute. So like. Obviously we're only talking, so it's probably a bit hard, but can you give like an insight of like what the speed tech is like how can viewers at home imagine a run?
Yeah, so the puzzle elements that you're interacting with, they just lead themselves really. They lead themselves into speedruns. There's a lot of like unintended solutions to the puzzles, and the game really doesn't like it. It does hold your hand at the start, but then when it breaks open, you get access to all of these different crystals that you're interacting with, and like some of them teleport you, some of them turn you into a little flame and you fly around. Some of them you bounce off of, and like the angle that you hit the crystal with, it gives you momentum. So it just leads itself really, really well to speedrunning.
I also do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's a donation bid war incentive thing for your game, right?
Yeah, for Evergate.
I want to quickly explain what it is so maybe people can donate towards it if they want.
Yeah, it's basically just a pick your favorite color donation incentive. There are different colors that it's like a beam of light that you shoot out of your character, and there are some color options for it. So if you have particular feelings about colors and you want your color to be shown on screen for the entire run, you can donate some money and you can potentially have your color.
Is this just an option in the game, or do you have to change some game files for that?
Yeah, it's just an in-game option. It's just a little thing.
Cool. And then, I mean, I've known you for a while, and I know you speedrun a variety of different games. Just the two here are like also already wildly different. We have like PoE 2, Path of Exile 2, and like Evergate 2. Wildly different games, and I also remember some JRPGs. So my question would be, how do you what makes you speedrun a game? What does a game need to do in order for you to want to speedrun it?
Well, it's just that question of like people that want to pick up speedrunning. It's like, what should you play? You should play games that you like. So when a game comes out and I really like to dig into it and I want to play it again and again and again, then that'll be a game I want to try to speedrun. But yeah, it doesn't really I don't really have a criteria for it other than it not being like terribly long. Like I've done like Pokemon Scarlet Violet that was like 6 hours long. Oof. That was just way too long. It's really difficult to find a block of time that you can play that game for uninterrupted. So I think that's probably my biggest criteria is just something that's not too long. But even like running like Octopath Traveler and doing like the longer categories there, those are like 4 hours. But I really loved the game, so I don't know. You make it work.
Yeah, but there you can also just go for the quicker runs as an hour or less. But have you ever come across a game that you casually played it and you're like, oh wow, I really like this game. Let's look at the speed run. Then you look at it and you're like, nah, bro, get me out. This ain't it. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, well, tons of times.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like the JRPGs are really where that happens because
fair enough.
For a JRPG to for me to be interested in speedrunning it, I really just don't like when you're just spamming the same moves over and over and over. It's like, oh, I'm going to hit this boss, and I solved this boss by doing the exact same thing I did 20 times before.
Right.
That's really where I draw the line on that. Like I don't know, like Pokemon games are great. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of it is like long cutscenes, and you're just spamming the same move over and over and over.
Yeah, I was just about to say, just long cutscenes and dialogue probably doesn't really contribute to the enjoyment of a speed game.
Yeah, for me personally, like a lot of people, they can speedrun based on nostalgia, and they love Pokemon games. So it's cool. Yeah, you can run that. But yeah. I obviously I like them enough to run them, but it doesn't really stick as much as some of the other games.
All right, last question for the people at home. Describe your two speed games, or the two games you'll be having here. Describe them in one single word.
All right, so for Po 2, we're gonna go with is hack and slash one word?
I guess.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Okay. And then for Evergate, we're going to go surprising.
Surprising. All right. Well, there you heard it, folks. You better tune in later for PoE 2 or tomorrow for Evergate. Or just stick around and watch all the rounds. That's obviously the ideal case. So, thanks a lot, Sunny, for taking the time to speak with me here. I'll let you get back to maybe some practice, or don't. I don't know what you're about to do in the next hour. Any final shout-outs?
Oh, no, just thank you for interviewing me. It's been great.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching this interview. And yeah, we'll be jumping into a quick intermission, and we'll get to you back with some awesome gameplay. So please stick with us. We will be right back.